Polly Platt summarized her reaction to Wes Anderson and Owen Wilson's first script as follows. Most scripts you read are pale imitations of films that have already been made, but I had never seen anything like their work. As a producer, you live for, you pray for, finding that kind of writing. It was unique, unhomogenized, brilliant. Now, James L. Brooks made arrangements for Wes and Owen to live in Los Angeles for 2 years, working as screenwriters to hone their Bottle Rocket screenplay. Now, later, Wes recalled not knowing what kind of characters they were creating when they first started writing. They knew the type of movies they admired, plus they'd already written a number of short stories, so they at least had an inkling as to how the characters they liked behaved and evolved. Now, as for their own characters, however, there were many details yet to be uncovered. Wes had a visual idea of the mood of the story. However, it was over the course of writing the script that they figured out what kind of film they actually wanted to make. Now, initially, it was more serious, extremely derivative, but once they realized that they would be writing characters based on and for their friends, it became a lot easier. Owen Wilson would remark that that's when it became clear to them that their movie obviously wasn't going to be like Reservoir Dogs. Rather, it would be more of a comedy. Interestingly, Owen didn't want to act in the feature initially. He thought it would not seem like a real movie, and furthermore felt it would be unprofessional if he and his brother actually starred in it. How wrong he was. Well, anyway, when the first draft was finally complete, a new challenge arose. The script was 225 pages long, approximately 100 pages longer than a typical script. So when James Brooks noted that, despite them living together, they had not read the script aloud to one another, he arranged for them to do just that. It was a long, arduous experience. It felt like the longest script reading ever. Thus, tweaking and editing was necessary to make it presentable. Bottle Rocket, shot in 1994, was in post-production for 2 years before it was released. And one major reason for the delay was due to poor testing. In fact, it was one of the most poorly tested films in the history of Sony. By all accounts, this impacted the entire cast and crew. The first screening proved to be especially challenging. Wes later commented how he wasn't able to stay in the room. He had never felt so humiliated. Luke Wilson, the brother of Owen, for instance, was shocked by the number of people who simply walked out of the screening, which by some accounts was approximately 85 people. Quoting Wes, people were walking out one after another, and everything was just collapsing right there. It was everything for us. And with their confidence shaken, they began to wonder what they'd been doing in the first place. The reshoots and post-production process was so arduous, they wondered how anyone could think what they had created could be funny or enjoyable. There was a narrow silver lining, however. Out of 500 feedback cards, one was kind to them. So they kept it and reread it, furiously trying to rebuild their confidence. The conclusion was clear. 1 in 500 people could enjoy the film. That was their audience. And Wes couldn't help but laugh as he made that statement, in part because it made all the difference in the world. And the full feature was turned down by the Sundance Film Festival. Undoubtedly another blow for the group, but somehow morale began to grow. No one went to see it when it was released. It did, however, receive some really good reviews and began to garner a following. And Wes began to consider that they just might have made something really good.